Well, that's it. Now, some of the news people out there, they like to claim they're for news by attacking Trump, you see. That way they can show that they're truly objective. They're not partisan, you know. There was an excellent piece a couple years ago, almost to the day, in the Daily Wire, which is an excellent site, started and founded by our buddy Ben Shapiro. Good man. It was by Aaron Bandler. Now, I don't mean to cause any issues. I don't mean to provoke anything. But when we return, I want to go through this. The 9 things you need to know about illegal immigration and crime. Hello. About illegal immigration and crime. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that the media as a collective supports illegal immigration. That the media as a collective supports socialism. That the media as a collective supports the evisceration of the United States military. That the media as a collective supports the Democrat Party. That the media as a collective supports activist judges. That the media as a collective supports the attack on American history. What else do you take from this? And they go on and on about freedom of the press, like you and I are somehow threatening freedom of the press, like Donald Trump is somehow threatening the freedom of the press. It was John Adams, one of our truly great founders, and his party, the Whigs, that passed the Alien and Sedition Act, with emphasis on the sedition part, who locked up reporters, so-called, or threatened them. It was Woodrow Wilson in 1918, I bet you didn't know, that he and his party pushed through another Sedition Act in 1918. Because we know the left and the Democrats are such supporters of liberty and individualism and the Constitution. It wasn't Trump. And we could go on. It was Barack Obama who sicked the FBI on the AP and Fox News and the New York Times. James Risen and James Rosen. Oh, yes. Trump merely calls them out for what they are. And he calls them out by name. Nobody can seriously conclude that Don Lemon is any kind of journalist or reporter. He's a buffoon. Nobody can seriously argue that Brian Stelter is any kind of reporter or journalist. He's a buffoon. And you go right down the list. Right down the list. Things you need to know about illegal immigration and crime. This is 2 years ago, the Daily Wire by Aaron Bandler. Number 1, federal, state, and local governments keep data involving illegal immigration and crime out of the public purview. Fox News reported in 2015 that a source from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and I love ICE, I've said that, quote, that comprehensive statistics on illegal immigrant crime are not available from the federal government, and suggested contacting county, state, and federal jail and prison systems individually to compose a tally, a process that would encompass thousands of local governments. So in other words, it's the official position of the federal government not to provide you with the crime statistics, not to track it. They track everything except that. Number 2, available evidence suggests that illegals are in fact more likely to commit crimes than the rest of the population. Fox News sorted through myriad local, state, and federal statistics and found that illegal immigrants are 3 times as likely to be convicted of murder as members of the general population and account for far more crimes than their 3.5% share of the U.S. population would suggest. Now, why isn't this information reported today? on Good Morning America, on the Today Show, by Shep Smith, by Wolf Blitzer. Why not? The percentage of illegals committing the number of crimes are as follows, according to Fox. 13.6% of those sentenced for all committed crimes in the country. 12% of murder sentences. 16% of trafficking sentences. Number 3, this is the Daily Wire. Almost 50% of federal crimes were committed near the Mexico border. A report from the Department of Justice in 2014 found the following via Judicial Watch. And it gives these specific statistics. Number 4, illegal immigrants account for nearly 75% of federal drug sentences in 2014. This is according to the United States Sentencing Commission, which also found that illegals were involved in nearly 17% of drug trafficking sentences and over 33% of federal sentences overall. Mark, how do you know these people are committing crimes? Well, I don't know about specific individuals, but these are the statistics. I thought big government leftists like statistics. Number 5, a disproportionate amount of illegals are in state prisons. Peter Kirsanow, a member of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights and a lawyer, reviewed statistics from the Government Accountability Office and Pew Research Center and compared the number of illegals and non-illegals in prison for murder-related offenses in a 2015 National Review piece. Some of the findings: there are almost 70,000 illegal aliens in prison for every 100,000 illegals in Arizona. Let me correct that. There were 68.57 illegal aliens imprisoned for every 100,000 illegals in Arizona, compared to 54.06 citizens and legal non-citizens. And it goes on, but you can imagine what the statistics are. Kirsanow acknowledged that while comparing murder incarceration rates isn't a perfect measurement, it's difficult to contend that illegal aliens are more law-abiding than legal residents, at least when it comes to major crimes. But the more disturbing fact was the approximately 2,430 illegal aliens who are in prison just for homicide-related offenses in California alone. Number 6, tens of thousands of criminal illegals have been released by ICE and are at large in the country. In 2015, ICE released almost 20,000 illegals that committed 64,000 crimes that involved over 12,000 drunken driving convictions, 1,728 cases of assault, 216 kidnappings, and more than 200 homicide or manslaughter convictions. And this is why when you have a fool like the mayor of Tallahassee, Gillum, who says that they will not turn over convicted, incarcerated, and then freed illegal aliens to be deported by ICE. They will not turn them over to ICE. You understand that, Florida? You understand what I'm talking about? You've got a radical kook who wants to be your governor. I've got more when I return.
The Mark Levin Show. Dial in now. 877-381-3811.
When is the first time CNN or MSNBC or any of these left-wing phony news outlets actually looked at the statistics of the populations in the various federal and state prison systems to figure out who's who? They dare not look. They dare not look. They can see the statistics. They can work it through. They spend a lot of money on fluff and so forth. Instead, we get propaganda. Well, how can you prove that this is this? Or how can you prove that is that? You're news. If you're going to make an assertion, like, for instance, well, illegal aliens don't commit any more crimes than American citizens do. Can you prove otherwise? No. You're making the assertion. Show us. I'm making the opposite assertion. That illegal aliens, as a percentage, commit more crimes than American citizens do. So why do we deny that fact? Obama, I follow science. In fact, no, you don't. Neither do the media. Go look at the state prison systems. Go look at the federal prison system and tell us about the populations. How many are legal immigrants? How many are illegal immigrants? How many are citizens. Go ahead. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. When's the last time you saw a program on any of these news outlets, so-called, on the cost of illegal immigration to local communities, schools, hospitals, law enforcement? They don't do those stories. Instead, we get the same thing over and over again. Don't these people have a right to come here? Don't they have a right to have a better life? What are you, a racist? What do you want to stop them? What are you going to do? Round them up? You're going to round them all up? Is that what you're going to do? That's what we get from the so-called news. You know, it's not small sites that overwhelm you with tons of the wrong resumes. But you know what is smart? ZipRecruiter.com/Levin, Levin. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't wait for candidates to find you. ZipRecruiter finds them for you. Its powerful matching technology scans thousands of resumes, identifies people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job, and actively invites them to apply. They're proactive. So you get qualified candidates fast. No more sorting through the wrong resumes. Anybody can do that. No more waiting for the right candidates to apply. Anybody can do that. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the United States. #1. And the rating comes from hiring sites on Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. And right now, you, my listeners, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at the exclusive web address ZipRecruiter.com/Levin. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Levin. ZipRecruiter.com/Levin. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Now let's finish the 9 things you need to know about illegal aliens and crime. We're on number 7. The rise in illegals crossing the border has fueled gang violence. In March, the Daily Caller reported that the barbaric MS-13 gang has been recruiting young illegals, resulting in higher crime in the Washington, D.C. area. In fact, Montgomery County in Maryland has seen an unprecedented level of gang-related violence in the last 8 months. This was written 2 years ago. With illegal immigrant youth being responsible for 85% of street robberies, according to IJ Review. Now, in the county I live in, I'm very close to the sheriff's department, and they told me that this MS-13 problem is a significant problem. But you wouldn't know that, because when the president raises it, and he's done a lot of work on this issue of MS-13, so has Attorney General Jeff Sessions, so have the U.S. attorneys all across the country. When you raise it, they blow it off. Well, everyone's not MS. What's the big deal? Well, it's only a small number. Yeah, everybody's not MS-13. These insane, inane arguments. And the horrors of MS-13 have extended to the Brentwood community in Long Island, New York. And they've committed horrendous crimes in Virginia, on Long Island, and in other cities. The West Coast, around L.A. Number 8, sanctuary cities have hampered law enforcement in cracking down on gangs. The great Heather McDonald documented the frustrations of Los Angeles law enforcement officers all the way back in 2004 when they couldn't touch known gang members because of their status as illegals. We can't even talk about it, says a frustrated LAPD captain. People are afraid of a backlash from Hispanics. Another LAPD commander in a predominantly Hispanic gang-infested district sighs, I would get a firestorm of criticism if I talked about enforcing the immigration law against illegals. The issue is that these gang members tended to sneak back into the country even after they were deported for heinous crimes. And police officers couldn't enforce immigration laws against them and would have to resort to surveilling these gang members until they committed crime. Number 9. Crime has also increased among major cities that are immigration hubs. Daily Wire editor-in-chief Ben Shapiro has written, quote, David Frum of The Atlantic, no hardcore immigration opponent, and kind of a kook, but anyway, wrote in 2015 that as of 2011, there were 25,000 illegal immigrants serving murder sentences and nearly 3 million offenses committed by illegal immigrants between 2003 and 2009, including 70,000 sex crimes and hundreds of thousands of other violent crimes. After years of welcome decline, Frum pointed out, crime rates are rising in immigration hubs, including Houston, Milwaukee, Phoenix, San Diego. You got that, Gloria Borger? You idiot? In New York, it was 34%, Arizona 17.8%. During those years, criminal aliens accounted for 38% of all murder convictions in the 5 states of California, Texas, Arizona, Florida, and New York, while illegal aliens constituted only 5.6% of the total population in those states. Now, there's no denying the facts. You've got a guy running for governor, Gillum, in Florida, that doesn't have a problem with this. Once a criminal illegal alien is released from prison, rather than having a detainer to hold them for the feds to deport them, Gillum says abolish ICE, and no, we're not going to work to get a detainer. Now think about that, Florida. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the official position of the United States Democratic Party. Of the Democrat Party, it's the official position to abolish ICE. It's the official position that localities and states, local and state law enforcement, should not work with ICE. They've smeared ICE. ICE isn't even the Border Patrol. ICE protects the interior of the United States from illegal and criminal immigrants. And you're supposed to hate them. Now you know actual facts. If you're watching cable TV, the news parts of cable TV, so-called, you didn't hear any of this. Instead, all you heard all day, today and yesterday, was trashing Trump. That's what you've heard. You've heard reporters yell out to Trump, do you know for sure there are terrorists among the 7,000? What kind of a stupid question is that? My response to the reporter is, do you know that every one of these 7,000 haven't committed crimes, that none of them are terrorists? The whole point is they're illegal aliens. They're not going through the vetting process. Well, the president said there are criminals among them. There are terrorists among them. Well, I have no doubt there are. Criminals know what they're doing. Terrorists know what they're doing. Well, we have to wait for them to do something? But that's not even the point. They're not allowed in our country as a matter of federal law. The media do not have the same compassion for American citizens who violate federal law. They don't have the same compassion for American citizens who may get their taxes wrong or maybe violate Obamacare and so forth and so on. What's happened in this country is the Democrat Party and the media have romanticized illegal immigration. They have romanticized illegal aliens. That's the propaganda that's going on in this country. That the illegal immigrant is nobler, better, more hardworking than the American citizen. And these fools in the Democrat Party and some in the Republican Party, but let's be honest, really the Democrat Party has a near monopoly on this with illegal immigration. These fools in the Democrat Party, these fools in the media, these fools in Hollywood, what they're doing to this country is unparalleled. It's unparalleled. And we have a president who calls it like it is. We have a president who's trying to address it. His hands are tied by ridiculous laws. His hands are tied by the Democrat Party. The media try to beat him down even though they fail. The media desperately wants the Democrats to win this election. All the free media the Democrats get, it's incredible. They desperately want the Democrats to win this election. They reject the results of the 2016 election through the media. You even heard this Gloria Bolger on CNN say, it's 2016 all over again. Shut up, you idiot. We know the vast majority of these people are Democrats and liberals. Poll after poll has shown it. And they can no longer conceal their ideology. But what kind of people, what kind of citizens root for illegal aliens to come into your country? And they don't know if there's any terrorists, and they don't know if there's any criminals. What kind of journalists do this sort of thing? Frauds and phonies, that's what do this sort of thing. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.